Hello.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anubhav and I'll be your trainer for the day. But before we start the session, we will do a quick COVID formality. In fact, I would request my entire participants to wait for another 2 minutes. Let's wait for about 100 odd seconds and wait so that other members can also join us. I did hear from some students that there is some technical issue. So I'll request my audience to wait for about 100 odd seconds. And after 100 seconds, we start this class.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Good evening, the future CEOs, the future directors, and the future entrepreneurs of this country. Well, you would be surprised that how can I start this conversation with the future CEO, future directors, and future chairman of an organization? Because people who do a management course end up being a CEO, CFO, director, or a chairman in an organization. And before I move ahead, I'll quickly do a COVID formality. And this COVID formality is about three questions what I'm asking my audience. Question number one, am I audible to you or not? Question number two, can you see me or not? Question number three, is this PowerPoint presentation visible to you or not? So if all these three things are in place, you can see me, you can hear me, and this PowerPoint presentation is in front of you. You will quickly go to the chat box and press a Q for Queensland. I request Anshika, Aryan, Gaurav, Harman, Ishant, Khushi, Nidhi, Priya, Riya, Saket, Trishul, Vivek, Yash. I request my entire audience to quickly go on the chat box and press a Q for Queensland ताकि मुझे पता रहे कि आपको सुनाई दे रहा है, आपको दिखाई दे रहा है, and this PowerPoint presentation is in front of you. As I told you are the future CEOs, future directors, and future chairmen of an organization. organization, because management is something what a student looks up to when you are talking about a lot of money, a lot of power, and a lot of respect. I repeat, management after school will give you all three things what you want in life. One, a lot of money. Second, a lot of power. And third, a lot of request, a lot of respect. Because these are those three things what is attached to a management career. Moving ahead, I also understand that you must be having a dream college or a dream course in front of you. So I would request my entire audience, Anshika, Aryan, Gaurav, Girdhar, Harman, quickly go on the chat box and write what is your dream college. Whether your dream college is an IIMs, whether your dream college is an RC Monji, whether your dream college is a Delhi University, or for that matter, your dream college is St. Xavier's. Aryan, Gaurav, Girdhar, Harman. I repeat, Aryan, Gaurav, Girdhar, Harman, Ishant, Khushi, Nidhi, Priya, Ria. I request all of you to quickly type your dream college on the chat box. Until now, Khushi says an IIMs, Aryan says an IIMs, Gaurav says an IIMs, Girdhar says IIMs, Narsi Monji, and Stanford. But one thing, one college is common to all. And that college is a three-letter acronym which says IIM. Believe me, trust me, and mark my words. These three-letter acronym is a brand name. You're fond of branded shoes, you're fond of branded bags, you're fond of branded clothes. Similarly, you're also fond of branded college. And God bless you. God bless you that you are from a generation of year 2021. Well, I was from a generation of year 2005. When I wanted to pursue a college, when I wanted to pursue a graduation, and I applied to IIMs after my school, they said, go and play for 3 years. I repeat, they said, go and play for 3 years. 3 साल खेल के आओ, 3 साल ग्रेजुएशन करो, उसी के बाद IIMs में अप्लाई कर सकते हो. I would say you are from a lucky generation of year 2021 who can apply for IIMs right after class 12th. That's the most exciting part. That's the most amazing part about this journey. And IIMs right after class 12th. Yes, my friends, you heard it right. And IIMs after class 12th, which was introduced in year 2011. And thank God that this college came as a blessing, which is an IIM Indore, which says even a class 12 student, I repeat, even a class 12 student can apply for a course, college, and a career in IIMs immediately after school. When you talk about an IIMs after school, you will have 20 questions of quantitative aptitude subject based, 40 questions of quantitative aptitude multiple choice based, and 40 questions of verbal ability, which is English. This is how typically an IIM Indore paper is designed from year 2011 to 2019. Now, if I look at this entrance exam, if I look at this entire criteria, there are 60 questions which are based on numbers and 40 questions which are based on English. Now, any student who's applying for quantitative aptitude subject-based questions, you are expected to do +4 for every right answer. For every right question, what you do in this section, they will give you a +4. Whereas if you talk about a multiple choice based questions, it says +4 for a right answer, -1 for a wrong. And जब इंग्लिश के बारे में बात करते हैं तो इंग्लिश इज इक्वल टू +4 for a right answer, -1 for a wrong. Whereas quantitative aptitude subject based thing is about 16 marks. So any student who's doing only 4 questions, I repeat, any student who's doing only 4 questions in this section, you would have cleared the sectional cutoff of section 1. Imagine 4 questions out of 20 and your section 1 is taken care of. If I look at the second section, which is multiple choice based, the expectation is to have 25 marks. Matlab, any student who's doing 7 questions, assuming all 7 questions are correct, you would have cleared the section 2 as well. If I talk about English, which is about 85 marks, the expectation is to do about 22 questions, and 22 questions out of 40 is cool. Only by doing 22 questions out of 40, your verbal ability section is also taken care of. Friends, imagine and just think over it. only by doing 33 questions. I repeat, only by doing 33 questions out of 100. I repeat, only by doing 33 questions out of 100, your all three sections are taken care of as far as IIM Indore is concerned. 33 questions out of 100, I don't think it's difficult. I don't think it is as difficult as CBSE or ICSE board, because 33 questions is still manageable. I'll come down to your questions, I'll come down to your answers in a while, but I would request my entire audience to quickly go on the chat box and tell me how were the last 10 minutes with Career Launcher. Did you understand the number game? Did you understand this slide? Is the communication clear? क्या मैं जो बोल रहा हूं वो समझ में आ रहा है? So I want you to put a one word feedback on the chat box. How are the last 10 minutes so that we can take the discussion further? Come on, I have received a response from Girdhar, I have received a response from Anshika, I have received a response from Gaurav, and I'm waiting for the other 15 members to quickly go on the chat box and give me a feedback. Yash says excellent hai, Ria says samajh mein aa raha hai. Now when I talk about year 2019, it was not different. In year 2019, section 1 quantitative aptitude, you need to score 20 marks, which clearly tells even by doing 5 questions, your section is taken care of. And when you talk about 31 marks in section 2, it means if you are doing 8 questions, assuming all 8 questions are correct, your quantitative aptitude multiple choice based is also taken care of. And when you talk about English, the Angrezi part, you are expected to do 18 questions, and by doing 18 questions, you would have got 71 marks in verbal ability. So my friends, 2019 cutoff was about 31 questions out of 100. Can you imagine questions which are less than 33%? Questions which are less than the norms as per the CBSE, and you would have cleared the cutoffs of year 2019 as well. And this is one blessing to a student of class 12th. This is a blessing to a school student getting into IIMs right after class 12th. But the bigger question is, why do I need to choose IIMs after class 12th? You need to choose IIMs after class 12th because of 5 different reasons. Reason number 1, when you apply to IIMs after class 12th, you will be competing only with 18 to 19,000 students. Whereas if you apply for IIMs after college, you will be competing with close to 2.5 lakh students. It's always a competition of 18,000 students versus 2.5 lakh students. And I'm pretty sure competing with 18,000 is easier. Reason number two to pursue a management course is management is a stream neutral program. Stream neutral program means commerce with maths, without maths, humanities, medical, non-medical. Anyone and everyone will be able to apply for a management course. Therefore, what you do in physics in 11th and 12th will have no repercussions. If you are good with mathematics, God bless you, but still, it doesn't make difference to your admission. And if you are awful in mathematics, it still doesn't make a difference, because you might have an opportunity to pursue an IIMs right after class 12th, as it is a stream neutral program. Reason number 3, management is one course which gives you a lot of power, a lot of money, and a lot of respect. Hey, management is equal to a lot of power, money, and respect. Kaise? I call to a company and I'm not satisfied. The company will say, let me speak to my management, which means they are the boss. When you go to a restaurant and they serve you a cold dish, you shout and scream at them and you say, hey, call the manager, which means manager is a decision making. So friends, you tell me, what do you want in an organization? You want to be a boss or you want to be an employee? A B for a boss and an E for an employee. I am asking you to vote on the chat box, and I request my 20 participants to quickly go on the chat box and list down your preferences. क्या बनना है life में? A boss or an employee? Obviously, it's a unanimous decision. All of you want to be a boss, and that is a charm of a management program. It gives you a situation where you can be a boss. Designations like CEOs, CFOs, directors, chairman, entrepreneur, all of them is equal to management. Fourth reason of pursuing a management course is it is a all pervasive, unique quality. which means you need managers to manage a bank, you need managers to manage a hotel, you need managers to manage a retail chain like a big bazaar, and you need managers to manage a theater, irrespective, irrespective which industry are you from, irrespective the kind of company you operate, irrespective the scale of operation, you can pursue a management course and look for a job in any company. So your opportunities are increased multifolds. And reason number 5, management is not based on your class 12 score. It is based on an entrance test. By doing this, you give yourself another opportunity to enter a branded college called IIMs. And these are those numbers what are displayed in year 2018 and 2019. But let's not forget, we are sitting in year 2021. And my question is, has pandemic affected the entrance exam for IIMs? Answer is yes. IIM's entrance exam is affected by pandemic. And what is the effect? The effect is, instead of 100 questions, now there are 50 questions in the entrance test. Now, when you look at these 50 questions, 10 questions of quantitative aptitude subject based, 20 questions are multiple choice based, and 30 questions are verbal ability. And when you look at the cutoffs, a general category is expected to do 5 questions in this section. A general category is expected to do 7 questions in section 2, and general category is expected to do 17 questions in section 3. A total of 29 questions. A total of 29 questions out of 60, and you can enjoy the interview round in IIMs, which means by doing less than 50% of the questions, they would have still called you for an interview. And that is my answer to the question, how much do we need to get into an IIMs? This is the answer, but the bigger question is, what do I need? What do I need to get into IIMs? What you need is mathematics of class 10th, because arithmetic, number system, algebra. I repeat, number system, arithmetic, algebra, data interpretation are all those numbers which are asked on the basis of class 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Whereas geometry, mensuration, probability, set-based questions, inequalities, functions, logarithms, I repeat, matrices, determinants, permutation combination, geometry, and logarithms are those which are of chapter class 11th and 12th. So mathematics till class 10th, mathematics till class 11th and 12th, and English is equal to reading comprehension, sentence correction, sentence completion, idioms, phrases, synonyms, antonyms. But if you look at those 40 questions which are asked in English, I repeat, if you look at 40 questions what are asked in English, 12 out of 40, 12 out of 40 is based only on reading comprehension, which means 30%, I repeat, which means 30% of English is dependent only and only and only on reading comprehension. That's all. So friends, this is what the expectation is when you talk about an IIM Indore right after class 12, a competition with 16 to 18,000 students, and a wonderful opportunity to get this 3-letter acronym as a brand name of your college. And this was my discussion as far as IIM Indore is concerned. Before I move on ahead, I would request my 22 participants to quickly go on the chat box and tell me, is IIM information good enough or not? If you have understood IIM Indore closely, if you've got to know what it takes to get into an IIM Indore, and if you've liked the last 20 minutes with Team Career Launcher, I would request you to go on the chat box and press an A for awesome अनुभव. पता भी तो लगना चाहिए ना, हमारी ऑडियंस हमारे साथ है, पता लगना चाहिए कि हम क्लास अटेंड कर रहे हैं, सो तो नहीं रहे हैं. ग्रेट. यश, खुशी, रिया, गौरव, त्रिशूल, गिरधर, you understood and you've already typed an A for awesome. Now let's move ahead and talk about the next best IIMs to get through. See, when I was in class 12th, I needed to score a 90% because that was the cutoff of Delhi University. And Delhi University is something what I was looking at. The opportunity with you is not only IIM Indore, IIM Rohtak will also call you for an admission right after class 12th. And unlike IIM Indore, where 60 questions were based on mathematics, 40 questions were based on English, IIM Rohtak will say 40 questions on numbers, 40 questions on reasoning, and 40 questions on English. I repeat, 40 questions on numbers, 40 questions on reasoning, and 40 questions on English. You've got a +4, -1. You've got a +4 and -1 as an opportunity to score as far as IIM Rohtak is concerned. A general category is expected to score 256 marks, which means by doing 64 questions, I repeat, by doing 64 questions out of 120, you would have got a seat in IIM Rohtak. Only by doing 55% of the paper, assuming the paper is correct, only by doing 55% of the paper, assuming the paper is correct, you would have got an admission in IIM Rohtak. But has the COVID situation changed IIM Rohtak too? Answer is yes. Instead of 120 questions, now they will test you on 60 questions. A general category is expected to do 144 marks, which is about 36 questions. Only by doing 60% of the paper, assuming the paper is correct, you would have got through an IIM Rohtak as well. On one hand, where IIM Indore was saying less than 50%, IIM Rohtak says about 55 to 65% of the paper. And if your IIM Rohtak is absolutely fine, if you got a 55% to 60% of the paper, your IIM Rohtak cutoff is also cleared. IIM Rohtak would say number system, algebra, time and work, time, speed and distance, averages, geometry, ratio proportion, set-based questions, clocks, profit and loss, only probability as a chapter. I repeat, only probability as a chapter is something which is based on class 11th and 12th. Rest, everything what you see, I repeat, rest, everything what you see is of class 8th, 9th and 10th. And that is how you will ace your numbers section. That is how you will ace your quantitative ability. Your next section, which is English, if you look at it, 15% of English is based on reading comprehension. Rest, the syllabus is more or less the same. What is tested in IIM Indore? This third section of logical reasoning is different from IIM Indore because IIM Indore will not test you on reasoning, but IIM Rohtak will. And when you talk about IIM Rohtak logical reasoning, I repeat, when you talk about IIM Rohtak logical reasoning, you will have syllogisms, parajumbles, inequalities, calendars, blood relation. So if you are good with Sudoku, if you are good with puzzles, if you are good with something which is known as riddles, you will be fantastic when it comes to logical reasoning. Vinayak, you are asking about IIM Indore. We've just finished IIM Indore. I am assuming you joined us late. So don't worry. Once this session is over, I'll give you a good brief about IIM Indore as well. But others, I hope the IIM Rohtak section is cleared and we've covered both these colleges, what people wrote. IIM Indore and IIM Rohtak, both of them are clear to my audience. And if this is clear, you will quickly go to the chat box and press a V for victory. I request my 25 participants to quickly go on the chat box and tell me IIM Indore and IIM Rohtak is clear or not. A quick V for victory on the chat box. Come on, quick. Awesome, guys. Fantastic response. And now I move on to the third dream college as far as management is concerned. Hey, what is that third dream college for management? That dream college is Delhi University, the same university which started a management course, in year 1987, the same year I was born. In 1987, they started this program called BBS, which is Bachelor's of Business Studies. In 1993, Delhi University introduced another management program called BBA for those who want a specialization in finance. And unlike IIM Indore, unlike IIM Rohtak, this entrance exam will test you on numbers, reasoning, English, and they will test you on GK as well. I repeat, they will test you on GK as well. Now, when you talk about GK, What kind of GK are you talking about? They are talking about current affairs. They are talking about business GK. 25, 25, 25 questions each. Delhi University, you get a management course. But my friends, in year 2021, they asked 43 questions. In year 2021, they asked 43 questions which were based on math. And this particular mathematics is of class 11th and 12th. I repeat, this particular mathematics is of class 11th and 12th. And the kind of chapters are functions, matrices, algebraic equation, limits, vectors, or for that matter, complex numbers. This is how Delhi University will test you as far as your management course is concerned. But friends, if you are listening to me, I will tell you, please develop your strategy. Please develop your strategy for a course under two categories. Category 1, 5-year management. Category 2, 3-year management. These are two different categories under which you need to apply for your colleges after class 12. Hey, what is a 5-year management program? 5-year management program is IIM Indore. 5-year management program is IIM Rohtak. 5-year management program is IIM Bodh Gaya. 5-year management courses IIM Ranchi. 5-year management courses IIM Jammu. IIM Jammu, IIM Ranchi, IIM Bodh Gaya, IIM Rohtak and IIM Indore are 5 IIMs. एंड इस कंट्री में सिर्फ 2 ही 3 लेटर एक्रोनिम है जो ब्रांडेड वर्ल्ड वाइड रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है. एक एक्रोनिम है आईआईटी और दूसरा एक्रोनिम है आईआईएम्स. So you get a chance to study in IIMs right after class 12, and these are your 5-year courses. Students, you can also apply. You can also apply for a fantastic institution called IIT Allahabad and Nalsar Hyderabad. UGAT entrance exam will also give you an opportunity to Nirma University. Nirma, IIIT, and Nalsar also gives you a 5-year management course. Whereas Delhi University, Narsi Mohanji, St. Xavier's, Delhi University, Narsi Mohanji, St. Xavier's are those colleges which will give you a 3-year management program. And when you talk about 3-year management program, Narsi Mohanji Institute of Management Studies is about 120 questions. And if you are able to do 86 questions, assuming they are correct, you would have got through a Narsi Mohanji as well. Whereas if you talk about symbiosis, it's about 150 questions. Like Delhi University, they will also test you on GK. And when you talk about St. Xavier's, 60% is based on entrance exam, 40% is based on class 12 score, a total of 100 questions. And that is how they will test you as far as your Delhi University, Narsi Mohanji, St. Xavier's or an IIM entrance is concerned after class 12th. Friends, this was something which was completely relevant to colleges. This was something which was completely relevant to the universities. But my important question is, what do they test in an entrance test? How they will judge? How they will judge that Anubhav is better than Ankit? How they will judge that Rohan is better than Sohan? How will they judge that Inky, Pinky or Tinky, whom should be selected? So they are based on an entrance test. An entrance test, I will tell you, is about questions which will test you, your IQ. And let us test your IQ on 3 questions today. I am throwing 3 questions on a Friday, and those 3 questions are to this entire audience who's listening to me. These 26 participants who are a part of this conversation, your 3 questions are on your way. Question number 1. I repeat, question number 1. Can any one of you in this audience tell me how many squares are there in a chessboard? Can anyone tell me how many squares are there in a chessboard?
64.
64. Fantastic. I want you to write the answer on the chat box and let us see how many of you are able to answer. Quick, guys, how many squares are there in a chessboard? Aryan says 64, Yash says 64, Gaurav says 64. So what we'll do is we'll do 8 columns for you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 columns. And simultaneously now we've got 8 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we've got 8 rows and 8 columns, and people say the answer is 64. In fact, I have Aryan, Yash, Gaurav, Faisal, Ishan. All of them are saying 64. And the first learning out of this session is कि जो आंसर दिखता है वो नहीं होता है. I repeat, जो आंसर दिखता है वो नहीं होता है, because 64 is equal to 8 rows into 8 columns. I repeat, 64 people have written 8 rows into 8 columns. This is about 8 rows what we have, and this is about 8 columns what we have. So people have written 8 into 8, 64. My question is the border, is the border, is the skirting, is the border, is the skirting, is the margin not a square? Answer is yes, it's a square. So 1 into 1 is an additional square. So 64 plus 1 is equal to 65. My question is 2 rows. My question is 2 rows and 2 columns. Is that not a square? Answer is yes. So 2 into 2 is 4. My question is 3 rows into 3 columns. I repeat, is 3 rows into 3 columns not a square? Answer, it is a square. 3 into 3 is 9. My question is 4 rows into 4 columns. I repeat, 4 rows into 4 columns. 4 into 4, 16. Is this 16 not a square? Answer is it is a square. So it is 1 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16 plus 25 plus 36 plus 49 plus 64. I repeat, 1 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16 plus 25 plus 36 plus 49 plus 64. Is this a set of squares? Answer is yes. And if I add all of them, I will get 204. And yes, Saket answered it correctly. There are 204 squares as far as chessboard is concerned. I repeat, there are 204 squares as far as a chessboard is concerned. And my question is, have you understood this or not? So if these 25 participants who are with me, if you understood this question, you will go on the chat box and press a P for Paris. I request you to go on the chat box and quickly press a P for Paris if you understood this. Come on. Come on, come on. Brilliant. Great. Anyone who wants me to repeat this question will go on the chat box and quickly type a R for repeat. Anyone? Anyone? None. Girdhar, I'll come down to your question. Don't worry. I'll answer all your questions. I'll leave no stones unturned. Today is an orientation class. So please hold your questions for a while. And meanwhile, let me address another question to you. And this question is to the entire audience who are a part of this conversation. We are 10 people in this classroom. I repeat, we are 10 people in this classroom. We shake hands with each other just once. I repeat, we are 10 people in this classroom. We shake hands with each other just once. Can anyone tell me how many handshakes are possible? We are 10 people in this classroom, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and a J. We are 10 people in this classroom. We shake hands with each other just once. I repeat, we are 10 people in this classroom. We shake hands with each other just once. How many handshakes are possible? Girdhar answers it 9. Sahil answers it 36. Vikram says 100. Faisal says 100. Saket says 45. Aryan says 45. Ria says 100. Yash says a 120. Anshika says 100. Last 5 seconds to answer this question, and the countdown begins now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I would like to congratulate Ishan, Aryan, and Saket. 45 is the right answer. Because when these 10 people are shaking hand with each other just once, when these 10 people are shaking hand with each other just once, so this A candidate will do 9 handshakes. I repeat, this A candidate will do 9 handshakes because A will do with B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and J. So he's done how many handshakes? 9. Whereas B will do how many handshakes? 8. Because A के साथ तो वो कर चुका है. So B will do 8 handshakes. C will do 7 handshakes. D will do 6 handshakes. E will do 5 handshakes. F will do 4 handshakes. G will do 3 handshakes. H will do 2 handshakes. And I and J put together will do 1 handshake. So my friends, 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 will give you 45. And that's your answer. Do you need math? Answer is no. Do you need common sense? Answer is yes. And that's how you clear your entrance exam. That's how you ace your entrance exam. If these 25 members have understood this question, you will quickly go on the chat box and press M for Malaysia. I request my entire audience to quickly go on the chat box and press an M for Malaysia if you understood the question. Great. So my last question for the day, which normally comes in an entrance exam, would be: a sum of money becomes double in 5 years. I repeat, a sum of money becomes double in 5 years. A sum of money becomes double in 5 years. In how many years will it become 8 times? I repeat, in how many years will it become 8 times at simple rate of interest? A sum of money becomes double in 5 years. I repeat, sum of money becomes double in 5 years. In how many years will it become 8 times? And you've got 10 seconds to answer this question. How many years will it become 8 times at simple rate of interest? I repeat, in how many years will it become 8 times at simple rate of interest? So your time starts now. You've got 10 seconds to answer this question. And your timer is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, you've run out of your time. Vikram says 25, Faisal says 15, Saket says 15, Aryan says 15, Sharni says 20, Shireen says 20, Gaurav says 40, Trishul says 20, Ria says 20, Girdhar says 20, Anshika says 20, Saket says 15, Yash says 15, and I'm so impressive to see this. Not even one of you has got this answer correct. I repeat, not even a single student who's a part of this game has got this answer correct. And my niece, who's just 14-year-old in class 8 standard, she has this answer. So I will answer this question in the class next time. I request all of you to be present in my next class. Ria, Anshika, Vivek, Saket, Aryan, Yash, Gaurav, Khushi. Please note down this question because I'll be answering this question next time when we are in our class. But for now, I would request you to switch on your camera and quickly show me your pretty faces. And well, don't be hesitant. I am equally as good looking as you are. So Ria, Anshika, Vivek, Monica, Akshita, Priya, Ashok, Vikram, I would request you to quickly switch on your camera. Quickly switch on your camera and give me a response. How's the class? A thumbs up is equal to a good class. A thumbs down is equal to a boring, slow class. So I would request all of you to switch on your camera. एक टीचर की ये दुआ है कि अगर आप कैमरा ऑन करोगे तो आप सबका IIM इंदौर का एंट्रेंस एग्जाम क्लियर होगा. Now who wants to take that risk? Who wants to take that risk and not